The first time I set my eyes on Earth, it was through the viewport of our spacecraft, the Lumina. I'm Azulin, a student from the planet Celaria, and alongside me was my close friend and fellow student, Daxion. Our mission was simple: study and understand the history and culture of Earth, a planet that, despite its turbulent history, had always fascinated us. Daxion and I were not just any students. We were part of an elite group chosen for our exceptional analytical and empathetic skills. Our professors often said that we had a unique way of seeing things, of connecting dots that others might miss. This was probably why we were selected for this mission, which was as much about diplomacy as it was about education. As we descended into Earth's atmosphere, I felt a mix of excitement and apprehension. We had read so much about humans. Their wars, their achievements, their failures, but reading about a species is one thing. Experiencing their world firsthand is another. The Lumina's landing was smooth, a testament to Celarian technology, and we soon found ourselves stepping out onto the soft, green grass of a human field, surrounded by an array of curious onlookers. The welcome committee was a mix of government officials and academic representatives. They seemed eager to meet us, and their eyes shone with a mixture of curiosity and trepidation. One figure stood out among them, a tall, stern-looking man with piercing blue eyes. This was Jasper, a renowned historian who had been assigned as our primary guide. Next to him was a woman with a bright, infectious smile and an adventurous gleam in her eyes. She introduced herself as Celestia, an archaeologist who had spent years uncovering the secrets of Earth's past. "Welcome to Earth," Jasper said, his voice deep and commanding. "We are honored to have you here." "We are honored to be here," I replied, trying to match his formality. Daxion, standing beside me, gave a small nod, his eyes already darting around, taking in the new surroundings. Our initial days on Earth were spent acclimatizing. Jasper and Celestia took us to various historical sites, explaining the significance of each place. From the ancient ruins of Rome to the towering skyscrapers of New York, we marveled at the diversity and richness of human history. But it wasn't until we visited a remote dig site in the Sahara Desert that our journey truly began. Celestia had received a tip about an unusual find deep beneath the sands. The excavation was already underway when we arrived, with a team of archaeologists and scientists working tirelessly to unearth what they believed to be an ancient structure. As we approached the site, a sense of anticipation hung in the air. "This is it," Celestia said, her eyes shining with excitement. "We believe we've found something extraordinary." "What is it?" Daxion asked, his curiosity piqued. "A warship," Jasper replied, his voice barely above a whisper. "An ancient human warship called Baxis." The name sent a shiver down my spine. Baxis. I had read about it in the classified archives of Celarian history. It was said to be a vessel of immense power, built during a time of great conflict on Earth. But its existence had always been shrouded in mystery, and many believed it to be nothing more than a legend. As we descended into the excavation site, I felt a sense of awe and trepidation. The hull of the warship was massive, its dark metal surface covered in strange symbols and markings. It was unlike anything I had ever seen, both alien and familiar at the same time. "How old is it?" I asked, unable to tear my eyes away from the colossal structure. "By our estimates, it's at least 5,000 years old," Celestia replied. "But its technology seems far more advanced than anything we've seen from that period." Jasper nodded. "It's as if this warship doesn't belong to any known era of human history. It's an anomaly, a piece of the past that doesn't fit." As we stood there, staring at the enigmatic warship, I realized that our mission had taken a turn we could never have anticipated. What started as a simple academic expedition had transformed into a journey to uncover one of the greatest mysteries of human history. And as we would soon learn, Baxis held secrets that would not only challenge our understanding of the past but also shape the future of our two worlds. The days following our discovery of Baxis were a whirlwind of activity and intrigue. The excavation site became a hive of activity, with experts from various fields converging to study the warship. Daxion and I were given special access, thanks to our status as interstellar students and our unique perspective on the technology. Every day, we delved deeper into the mysteries of Baxis, accompanied by Jasper and Celestia. The warship was a marvel of engineering, far more advanced than anything we had expected from an ancient human civilization. Its sleek design, reinforced hull, and intricate internal systems spoke of a level of sophistication that was both awe-inspiring and perplexing. One of our first tasks was to understand the symbols and markings that adorned the exterior of Baxis. They were unlike any language we had encountered on Earth, a complex script that seemed to combine elements of various ancient languages. Jasper, with his extensive knowledge of human history, was invaluable in deciphering these symbols. "It's a hybrid language," Jasper explained one afternoon as we pored over a section of the warship's hull. "It incorporates elements of Sumerian, Egyptian, and even some Mayan glyphs. It's as if the builders of Baxis drew upon multiple cultures to create this script." Daxion nodded thoughtfully. "It's possible that these cultures shared knowledge, or that there was a common thread connecting them, which we have yet to discover." As we worked, Celestia focused on the physical structure of the warship. She was fascinated by the materials used in its construction, which were unlike any known metals on Earth. Using advanced scanning equipment, she analyzed samples from the hull, discovering that it was composed of a unique alloy with remarkable properties. "This alloy is incredibly resilient," Celestia said, showing us her findings. "It's resistant to corrosion, extreme temperatures, and even radiation. Whatever its origin, it's far beyond anything we've seen in ancient human technology." Our exploration of Baxis took us deep into its interior, where we uncovered rooms filled with strange devices and machinery. Some of these devices appeared to be weapons, while others seemed to have more esoteric purposes. One room in particular caught our attention, a chamber filled with what appeared to be cryogenic pods. "These pods are unlike any known cryogenic technology," Daxion remarked as we examined the chamber. "They're more advanced than even our own stasis technology on Celeria." Jasper studied the pods intently. Could they have been used to preserve the crew of Baxis? If so, why were they never activated? The questions multiplied with each new discovery, and the answers remained elusive. But amid the uncertainty, a pattern began to emerge. It was clear that Baxis was not just a warship. It was a vessel of great importance, built for a purpose that transcended mere warfare. One evening, as we sat around a campfire near the excavation site, Jasper shared a theory that had been forming in his mind. What if Baxis was part of a larger plan? A plan to safeguard humanity's future during a time of great crisis. Daxion and I exchanged glances. It was a possibility we had considered as well. The advanced technology, the hybrid language, the mysterious purpose of the warship, it all pointed to a civilization facing an existential threat. But what was the threat? I asked, voicing the question that had been nagging at us. And why was Baxis abandoned and forgotten? Celestia, who had been listening quietly, spoke up. "There are legends and myths from various ancient cultures that speak of a great war, a conflict that nearly wiped out humanity. Perhaps Baxis was part of that war, a last-ditch effort to ensure survival." As we sat there, contemplating the implications of our findings, I realized that our journey had only just begun. Baxis was a puzzle with many pieces, and each piece we uncovered brought us closer to understanding its true purpose. But it also raised more questions that would take us to the farthest reaches of Earth and beyond. In the days that followed, we continued our exploration of the warship, piecing together its history and the events that led to its construction. We discovered more about its creators, their motivations, and the challenges they faced. And with each new revelation, the bond between us, alien and human, grew stronger. Our quest for knowledge was no longer just an academic pursuit. It was a journey to uncover the truth about a forgotten era of human history. And as we delved deeper into the mysteries of Baxis, we began to realize that the warship held the key to a secret that could change the course of history for both our worlds. From the moment I met Celestia, I knew she was different. There was an aura of mystery about her, an energy that drew me in and made me want to know more. Her enthusiasm for discovery was infectious, and her adventurous spirit reminded me of the explorers from Salarian legends. But it wasn't just her passion for archaeology that set her apart. It was her uncanny ability to see beyond the obvious, to connect dots that others missed. As we continued our exploration of Baxis, I found myself spending more time with Celestia. Her insights into the warship's construction and its possible uses were invaluable. But it was her stories about her own discoveries and adventures that fascinated me the most. She had traveled to the most remote corners of Earth, uncovering artifacts and relics that told the story of humanity's past. One afternoon, as we were examining a section of the warship's control room, Celestia shared a particularly intriguing story. "I once discovered an ancient temple in the jungles of South America," she said, her eyes lighting up with the memory. "It was hidden deep within the forest, covered in vines and almost entirely forgotten by time. Inside, I found inscriptions that spoke of a great cataclysm, a time when the gods themselves waged war on Earth." I listened, captivated by her tale. "Do you think it could be connected to Baxis?" I asked. Celestia nodded. "It's possible. Many ancient cultures have stories of a great war or a cataclysmic event. The similarities between these myths and the inscriptions we found on Baxis suggest there might be a common thread." As we worked together, I began to see Celestia in a new light. She was not just an archaeologist. She was a seeker of truth, driven by a deep desire to uncover the mysteries of the past. Her determination and resilience were inspiring, and I couldn't help but feel a growing admiration for her. One evening, as we took a break from our work, Celestia and I sat on the edge of the excavation site, watching the sunset. The sky was ablaze with colors, a breathtaking display that reminded me of the sunsets on Salaria. "Do you ever miss your home?" Celestia asked, breaking the comfortable silence. I nodded. "Yes, sometimes. But I'm also grateful for this opportunity. Earth is a fascinating place, and there's so much to learn here." Celestia smiled. "I feel the same way. Every discovery, every new piece of the puzzle, it's like uncovering a part of myself. I can't imagine doing anything else." As the days passed, our bond grew stronger. We shared stories, theories, and dreams of what we might find next. Celestia's optimism and enthusiasm were contagious, and they helped to keep our spirits high, even when we encountered setbacks. One such setback occurred when we tried to access the central control room of Baxis. The entrance was sealed, and despite our best efforts, we couldn't find a way in. Frustrated, we decided to take a break and regroup. It was during this break that Celestia had an idea. "What if the entrance is protected by a code?" she suggested. "A code that can only be deciphered using the symbols we've been studying." It was a long shot, but it made sense. We had already seen how the builders of Baxis used symbols and markings in their construction. If the control room was as important as we believed, it was likely that they would have taken measures to protect it. With renewed determination, we set to work, comparing the symbols on the entrance with those we had already deciphered. It was a painstaking process, but slowly the pieces began to fall into place. After hours of effort, we finally had what we believed to be the correct sequence. Taking a deep breath, I entered the code into the panel next to the entrance. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, with a low hum, the door began to slide open, revealing the control room within. The sight that greeted us was nothing short of awe-inspiring. The control room was filled with advanced technology, far beyond anything we had seen on Earth. Holographic displays flickered to life, showing schematics and data that we could barely comprehend. In the center of the room was a large console, its surface covered in more of the enigmatic symbols. "This is incredible," Celestia whispered, her eyes wide with wonder. "It's like stepping into another world." As we explored the control room, it became clear that Baxis was more than just a warship. It was a repository of knowledge, a treasure trove of information that could unlock the secrets of the past. And at the heart of it all was the console, a device that seemed to hold the key to understanding the true purpose of Baxis. But as we began to unravel the mysteries of the control room, we also realized that we were not the only ones interested in Baxis. There were others, powerful entities who would stop at nothing to keep the warship's secrets buried. And as we would soon discover, our quest for knowledge was about to become a battle for survival. The control room of Baxis was unlike anything we had ever seen. As we stepped inside, the air crackled with energy, and the holographic displays illuminated the room with a soft, ethereal glow. The central console, a massive structure covered in symbols and markings, dominated the space. It was clear that this was the heart of the warship, the place where its true purpose could be unlocked. Celestia and I approached the console with a mix of excitement and trepidation. The symbols on its surface were similar to those we had seen throughout Baxis, but they were more complex, more intricate. It was as if the builders had encoded their most important secrets here, hidden in plain sight. "Where do we start?" I asked, looking at the array of symbols and controls. Celestia studied the console thoughtfully. "We need to decipher the main sequence first. If we can unlock that, we might be able to access the ship systems and learn more about its purpose." With that, we set to work, using our knowledge of the hybrid language to decode the symbols. It was slow, painstaking work, but with each symbol we deciphered, the picture became clearer. The console seemed to be a control panel for the entire ship, allowing access to its various systems and functions. As we worked, Daxion and Jasper joined us, bringing fresh insights and perspectives. Together, we made steady progress, slowly unraveling the mysteries of Baxis. But just as we were beginning to make headway, we encountered an unexpected obstacle. The console's main sequence was protected by a security protocol, a complex code that we could not easily bypass. Frustrated, we took a break to regroup and brainstorm. "We're missing something," Daxion said, his brow furrowed in concentration. "There has to be a key, a way to unlock the security protocol." Jasper nodded. The builders of Baxis would have needed a way to access the ship systems. There must be a clue somewhere, something we've overlooked. As we pondered our next move, Celestia's eyes lit up with sudden inspiration. "The cryogenic pods," she said. "What if they hold the key?" It was a brilliant idea. The cryogenic pods we had discovered earlier were designed to preserve the ship's crew, but they might also contain information or artifacts that could help us unlock the console. Without wasting any time, we returned to the cryogenic chamber and began examining the pods more closely. Each pod was sealed, its occupant preserved in a state of suspended animation. It was clear that whoever these individuals were, they were of great importance. As we inspected the pods, we noticed that each one had a small panel with a series of symbols, similar to those on the console. It was a long shot, but we decided to try entering the sequence from one of the pods into the console security protocol. Holding our breath, we input the sequence. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, with a soft chime, the console's display lit up, and the security protocol was bypassed. "We did it," Celestia whispered, her voice filled with awe. "We're in." With the security protocol unlocked, we gained access to Baxis' systems. The console displayed a wealth of information, from schematics and blueprints to logs and records. As we sifted through the data, a clearer picture of the warship's purpose began to emerge. Baxis was built during a time of great crisis, a period of intense conflict that threatened to annihilate humanity. The warship was designed as a last line of defense, equipped with advanced technology and powerful weapons. But it was more than just a weapon of war. It was also a repository of knowledge, a vessel intended to preserve the achievements and wisdom of human civilization. The logs revealed that Baxis' creators had foreseen the possibility of their civilization's collapse. They had built the warship to ensure that their knowledge and technology would survive, even if they did not. The cryogenic pods were part of this plan, intended to preserve key individuals who could help rebuild society in the aftermath of the conflict. As we absorbed this information, a sense of awe and responsibility settled over us. Baxis was not just a relic of the past. It was a beacon of hope, a testament to the resilience and ingenuity of the human spirit. But our discovery also brought with it new dangers. The knowledge contained within Baxis was incredibly valuable, and there were those who would do anything to possess it. We realized that our quest for truth had placed us in the crosshairs of powerful entities who wanted to keep the warship's secrets hidden. One evening, as we were reviewing the logs, we received a disturbing transmission. It was a warning, a message from an unknown source, telling us to abandon our search and leave Baxis behind. The message was clear. We were not welcome, and our lives were in danger. Despite the warning, we knew we couldn't turn back. The secrets of Baxis were too important, too valuable to be left buried. We had to continue our quest, to uncover the truth and share it with the world. Our journey had become a race against time, a battle to protect the knowledge we had uncovered. And as we prepared for the challenges ahead, we knew that our bond, alien and human, would be our greatest strength. In the days that followed, we redoubled our efforts, determined to unlock all of Baxis's secrets. We knew that the warship held the key to understanding a forgotten era of human history, and possibly to shaping the future of our two worlds. And with each new discovery, we grew closer to the truth, even as the dangers around us intensified. Jasper had always been the most enigmatic member of our team. His knowledge of human history was unparalleled, and his insights often guided us through the most challenging puzzles. But there was a depth to him, a sense that he carried secrets of his own. It wasn't until we delved deeper into the mysteries of Baxis that we began to understand the full extent of his connection to the warship. One afternoon, as we were reviewing the data logs from the console, Jasper called us together. There was a seriousness in his eyes that caught our attention. "I've found something," he said, his voice tinged with urgency. "Something that changes everything." We gathered around the console, where Jasper displayed a series of logs and records. They detailed a project called Operation Phoenix, an initiative undertaken by the builders of Baxis during the height of the Great Conflict. The project was shrouded in secrecy, and its true purpose had been buried for millennia. Operation Phoenix was the last hope of the warship's creators, Jasper explained. They knew that their civilization was on the brink of collapse, and they needed a way to ensure that their knowledge and technology would survive. Baxis was part of this plan, but there's more to it. He pointed to a section of the log that described a hidden chamber within Baxis, a place where the most important artifacts and records were stored. This chamber, known as the sanctum, was said to contain the key to rebuilding their society. Celestia and I exchanged glances. The discovery of the sanctum was a game-changer. If we could find it, we might uncover the most valuable secrets of Baxis, the knowledge that could transform our understanding of human history. "But there's a catch," Jasper continued. "The sanctum is protected by a series of advanced security measures designed to prevent unauthorized access. We'll need to bypass these defenses if we want to reach it." Daxion nodded. "It won't be easy, but we've come this far. We can't turn back now." With renewed determination, we set out to find the sanctum. The logs provided us with a rough location, deep within the heart of the warship. As we navigated the labyrinthine corridors of Baxis, we encountered numerous challenges, from automated defenses to intricate puzzles designed to test our resolve. The deeper we went, the more we realized that Baxis was not just a warship. It was a fortress, a sanctuary built to protect the most precious knowledge of its creators. Each step brought us closer to the sanctum, but also deeper into the heart of danger. One evening, as we rested in a secure chamber, Jasper shared more about his connection to Baxis. "My family has a long history of studying ancient civilizations," he said, his voice filled with emotion. "For generations, we've passed down stories and knowledge about a great war and a powerful warship. I always thought they were just legends, but now I see that they were true." He paused, looking around at our small group. "I've dedicated my life to uncovering the truth about Baxis. It's been my life's work, my passion. And now, with your help, we're on the verge of the greatest discovery of all." Celestia reached out and placed a hand on Jasper's shoulder. "We're in this together, Jasper. We'll find the sanctum and uncover its secrets." As we continued our journey, Jasper's knowledge and insights proved invaluable. He guided us through the complex systems and defenses of Baxis, using his understanding of ancient human technology to bypass traps and obstacles. It was clear that his family's legacy had prepared him well for this moment. Finally, after days of searching, we reached the entrance to the sanctum. The door was massive, its surface covered in symbols and markings that glowed faintly in the dim light. We could feel the energy emanating from within, a sense of power and knowledge waiting to be unlocked. With a deep breath, Jasper approached the console next to the door and began entering the codes we had deciphered. Each symbol lit up as he input the sequence, and with a low rumble, the door slowly began to open. Inside, the sanctum was a sight to behold. Shelves lined with ancient tomes, devices that hummed with energy, and artifacts that seemed to defy explanation. It was a treasure trove of knowledge, a repository of the greatest achievements of the Warship's creators. As we explored the sanctum, we uncovered records that detailed the history of the Great Conflict, the technologies used in the construction of Baxis, and the vision of its creators for the future. It was a wealth of information that would take years to fully understand, but it was clear that we had found something extraordinary. But amid the wonder and excitement, we also discovered a chilling revelation. The records hinted at a powerful enemy, a force that had driven the builders of Baxis to the brink of extinction. This enemy, known only as the Shadow, was a threat unlike any other, and its influence had shaped the course of human history. The more we learned, the more we realized that our discovery was not just about uncovering the past. It was about preparing for the future. The secrets of Baxis held the key to understanding the true nature of the conflict and the threat that still loomed over humanity. As we left the sanctum, our minds were filled with new questions and possibilities. We had uncovered a treasure trove of knowledge, but we also knew that our journey was far from over. The discovery of Baxis had opened a new chapter in our quest for truth, and the challenges ahead would test our resolve and unity like never before. But one thing was certain. Together, we would face whatever came our way, determined to unlock the secrets of the Warship and protect the legacy of its creators. The journey had just begun, and the true adventure was only beginning. The revelation of the enemy, known as the Shadow, cast a dark pall over our discovery of the sanctum. The builders of Baxis had faced an existential threat that had nearly driven them to extinction, and now it seemed that threat had not been entirely vanquished. As we delved deeper into the records, we began to understand the nature of this shadowy adversary. The Shadow was not a single entity, but a force, Jasper explained, poring over the ancient texts. It represented a coalition of powerful beings, driven by a singular purpose: to dominate and control. They wielded technologies and abilities far beyond anything the builders of Baxis could have imagined. Celestia and I listened intently, absorbing the gravity of his words. The record spoke of a great war, a cataclysmic conflict that had ravaged civilizations and left only fragments of their greatness. Baxis had been the last hope, a final stand against an overwhelming enemy. But why haven't we seen any sign of the Shadow in modern times? I asked, trying to piece together the puzzle. Daxion chimed in, his expression thoughtful. Perhaps they were defeated or went into hiding, waiting for the right moment to resurface. The records suggest they were not completely destroyed. As we continued to explore the sanctum, we found more clues about the Shadow's capabilities and the measures the builders of Baxis had taken to counter them. Advanced weapons, defensive systems, and even artifacts of immense power were stored within the sanctum, hidden away from prying eyes. But it was clear that Baxis was more than just a warship. It was a repository of hope and knowledge, a testament to the resilience and ingenuity of its creators. They had built the ship to preserve their legacy and to ensure that their wisdom would endure, even if they did not. One artifact in particular caught our attention. It was a small, intricately carved device that hummed with energy. Jasper recognized it immediately. "This is a key," he said, his eyes wide with excitement. "A key to unlocking the full potential of Baxis." The key was designed to interface with the central console, granting access to the warship's most advanced systems and capabilities. It was clear that the builders had intended for their successors to use it, to carry on their legacy and to protect humanity from future threats. But as we prepared to activate the key, we received another ominous transmission. This time, the message was more direct: leave Baxis or face the consequences. The threat was clear, and it was evident that someone or something did not want us to uncover the secrets of the warship. Undeterred, we decided to press on. The knowledge and technology within Baxis were too important to abandon. With the key in hand, we returned to the control room and prepared to unlock the ship's full potential. As we activated the key, the console lit up with a dazzling array of colors. The ship's systems came to life, and a wealth of information flooded the displays. Schematics, blueprints, and data on advanced technologies filled the screens, revealing the true capabilities of Baxis. But our triumph was short-lived. The activation of the key triggered an alert, and within moments, we were surrounded by a force of heavily armed soldiers. They were not human, but a hybrid of organic and mechanical, their eyes glowing with a sinister light. "You were warned," their leader said, his voice cold and menacing. "Now you will face the consequences of your defiance." We had no choice but to fight. Using the advanced weapons and defenses we had uncovered, we engaged the enemy, determined to protect the knowledge we had gained. The battle was intense, and it quickly became clear that our adversaries were not to be underestimated. As the fight raged on, we realized that the shadow had indeed returned, and they were determined to reclaim Baxis and its secrets. Their technology was advanced, and their tactics ruthless, but we fought with the knowledge and determination of those who knew what was at stake. Celestia and Daxion worked together to activate the ship's defensive systems, while Jasper and I focused on holding off the attackers. The control room became a battlefield, filled with the sounds of weapons fire and the hum of advanced technology. Despite the odds, we managed to repel the initial wave of attackers, but we knew that more were coming. The battle for Baxis had only just begun, and we were up against an enemy that had nearly wiped out an entire civilization. As we regrouped and prepared for the next assault, we realized that our journey had taken on a new dimension. We were no longer just uncovering the secrets of the past. We were fighting to protect the future. The legacy of the builders of Baxis was now in our hands, and we had to ensure that their knowledge and wisdom would endure. The road ahead was fraught with danger, but we were determined to see it through. Together, we would face the challenges ahead, united by our shared quest for truth and our resolve to protect humanity from the rising shadow. The adventure was far from over, and the true battle was only just beginning. The aftermath of the battle left us bruised and exhausted, but our resolve was stronger than ever. We had managed to hold off the first wave of attackers, but we knew that more were coming. The shadow would not give up easily, and we had to be prepared for whatever came next. As we regrouped, Celestia suggested we reach out to potential allies. "We can't do this alone," she said, her eyes filled with determination. "There are others who share our quest for knowledge and our desire to protect humanity. We need to find them and unite our efforts." Jasper nodded in agreement. "There are factions within both human and alien societies that would support our cause. We just need to find them and convince them to join us." Daxion and I exchanged glances. The idea of forming alliances was risky, but it was also our best chance of success. With a plan in mind, we began to reach out to various groups and individuals who might be sympathetic to our cause. Our first contact was with a group of human scientists who had been studying ancient technologies. They were intrigued by our discoveries and eager to help. We shared our knowledge with them, and they in turn provided us with valuable insights and resources. Next, we contacted a faction of alien scholars who were dedicated to preserving knowledge and history. They were fascinated by the story of Baxis and its creators, and they pledged their support in our fight against the shadow. With each new ally, our strength grew. We were no longer just a small group of explorers. We were becoming a coalition united by a common goal. But with new allies came new challenges, and not everyone we approached was willing to join us. Some were skeptical of our intentions, while others were afraid of the repercussions. We encountered resistance and suspicion, but we pressed on, determined to build a network of support. Amidst our efforts to forge alliances, we faced unexpected betrayals. One of our supposed allies, a prominent human leader, turned out to be working with the shadow. He had infiltrated our ranks, gathering information and sabotaging our efforts from within. The betrayal was a harsh blow, but it also served as a wake-up call. We realized that we had to be more cautious and vigilant. Trust was a precious commodity, and we had to be sure of our allies' loyalty. Despite the setbacks, we made significant progress. Our network of allies grew, and with it, our ability to defend Baxis and its secrets. We shared our knowledge and resources, working together to develop new technologies and strategies to counter the shadow. One evening, as we were strategizing with our allies, we received an urgent transmission. It was from an old friend of Jasper's, a renowned archaeologist named Dr. Arya Trent. She had been investigating ancient ruins on a distant planet and had discovered something that could change the course of our battle. "Jasper, I need to speak with you immediately." Her voice crackled over the communication link. "I found something incredible, something that could be the key to defeating the shadow." We listened intently as Dr. Trent described her discovery. It was an ancient artifact, a device of immense power that had been hidden away for millennia. The artifact was said to have the ability to disrupt the Shadow's technology, rendering their advanced systems useless. "We need to get our hands on this artifact," Jasper said, his eyes filled with excitement. "It could be the game-changer we've been looking for." But retrieving the artifact would not be easy. It was located in a heavily guarded ruin, protected by both ancient defenses and the Shadow's forces. We would need a carefully planned operation to retrieve it. With the help of our allies, we devised a plan to infiltrate the ruin and secure the artifact. It was a risky mission, but the potential reward was too great to pass up. We assembled a team of our best and brightest, prepared to face whatever challenges lay ahead. As we set out on our mission, we knew that the stakes were higher than ever. The artifact represented our best chance of turning the tide against the shadow, but it also put us directly in their crosshairs. We had to succeed not just for ourselves, but for the future of humanity and our allies. The journey to the ruins was treacherous, filled with obstacles and dangers at every turn. We encountered traps and automated defenses, remnants of an ancient civilization that had once inhabited the planet. But with determination and teamwork, we pressed on, navigating the perilous terrain. Finally, we reached the heart of the ruin, where the artifact was said to be located. The chamber was vast and awe-inspiring, filled with relics and symbols of a bygone era. At the center, on a pedestal of intricately carved stone, rested the artifact. As we approached, we could feel the energy emanating from it, a powerful force that seemed to resonate with our very beings. Jasper reached out and carefully lifted the artifact from its resting place, his expression one of reverence and wonder. But our triumph was short-lived. As soon as the artifact was removed, the chamber's defenses activated, and we found ourselves under attack. The Shadow's forces descended upon us, their advanced weaponry and tactics making the battle fierce and chaotic. We fought with everything we had, determined to protect the artifact and escape the ruin. Our allies provided crucial support, their combined efforts turning the tide in our favor. With the artifact in our possession, we managed to fend off the attackers and make our way back to Baxis. The mission had been a success, but it was clear that the real battle was just beginning. The artifact was a powerful tool, but it would take time to understand and harness its full potential. And the Shadow would not rest until they had reclaimed what they believed was rightfully theirs. As we regrouped and prepared for the challenges ahead, we knew that our journey was far from over. The artifact had given us a glimmer of hope, but it was up to us to turn that hope into reality. Together, we would face the Shadow and protect the legacy of Baxis, no matter the cost. The artifact we had retrieved from the ancient ruin was more than just a powerful device. It was a symbol of hope and resilience. With it, we had a chance to turn the tide against the Shadow and protect the legacy of Baxis. But we knew that our enemies would not rest until they had reclaimed what they believed was rightfully theirs. As we worked to understand and harness the artifact's full potential, we faced mounting pressure from the Shadow. Their forces were relentless, launching attack after attack in an effort to wear us down and reclaim Baxis. Our allies stood with us, their support crucial in holding the line. One evening, as we reviewed our defenses and strategized for the battles ahead, Jasper called us together. "We need to take the fight to them," he said, his voice filled with determination. "We can't just sit here and defend. We need to strike at the heart of the Shadow and put an end to their threat once and for all." Celestia and Daxion nodded in agreement. It was a bold plan, but it was also our best chance of ending the conflict. With the artifact in our possession, we had the means to disrupt the Shadow's technology and level the playing field. We began planning our final stand, a coordinated strike against the Shadow's stronghold. Our allies rallied to our cause, bringing their knowledge, resources, and courage to the fight. It was a daunting task, but we knew that together we could succeed. The journey to the Shadow's stronghold was perilous, filled with dangers and obstacles at every turn. We encountered resistance from enemy forces, but our determination and unity saw us through. Each battle brought us closer to our goal, each victory strengthening our resolve. As we approached the stronghold, the air crackled with tension. The structure was massive, a fortress of dark metal and advanced technology. It was clear that the Shadow had invested heavily in their defenses, and the battle ahead would be fierce. With the artifact in hand, we launched our assault. The device's energy pulsed through us, filling us with a sense of power and purpose. As we engaged the Shadow's forces, we could see the effects of the artifact's disruption, their advanced systems faltering and failing under its influence. The battle was intense, a chaotic clash of wills and technologies. We fought with everything we had, determined to end the Shadow's threat once and for all. Our allies provided crucial support, their combined efforts turning the tide in our favor. Finally, we reached the heart of the stronghold, where the Shadow's leaders were gathered. They were formidable opponents, wielding technologies and abilities far beyond anything we had encountered before. But with the artifact's power and our collective determination, we stood our ground. As the battle raged on, I found myself face to face with the Shadow's leader. He was a towering figure, his eyes glowing with a sinister light. "You cannot win," he sneered, his voice filled with malice. "The Shadow will always rise." But I refused to back down. With the artifact in hand, I channeled its energy, focusing on disrupting his technology and breaking his hold. The power surged through me, and with a final, determined effort, I struck. The leader staggered, his technology failing under the artifact's influence. With a roar of defiance, he fell, his body collapsing in a heap of metal and flesh. The remaining forces of the Shadow faltered, their cohesion shattered by the loss of their leader. As the dust settled and the battle came to an end, we stood victorious. The Shadow's stronghold was in ruins, their threat neutralized. It was a hard-fought victory, but it was also a testament to our unity and determination. With the artifact's power, we began the process of restoring peace and rebuilding what had been lost. Baxis was more than just a warship. It was a symbol of hope and resilience, a testament to the ingenuity and courage of its creators. As we worked to protect and preserve the legacy of Baxis, we knew that the journey was far from over. There would always be new challenges and threats, but we were ready to face them together. The legacy of Baxis would endure, and with it, the hope for a brighter future. The adventure had taken us to the farthest reaches of the galaxy and tested us in ways we could never have imagined. But through it all, we had stood together, united by our quest for truth and our resolve to protect humanity. The battle for Baxis was over, but the journey of discovery and hope was just beginning.